Commercial GCs, this is the dashboard you need to manage billing, outstanding invoices, cash flow for projects and for change orders and literally anything else. By the way, if you're a commercial GC doing between $10 to $50 million a year in revenue, you would like us to help you implement systems to increase the profitability of your projects, check out the link in the description below. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm inside of a system. This system is called Monday.com, and we have built an array of different things directly for commercial GCs to manage the stages of RFIs, change orders, billing process, projects, and we're continuing to expand on this. But in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through our billing dashboard. Now, our billing dashboard stems from our billing process board. The idea being that when a change order is approved or a milestone is hit for a particular project, it automatically creates a new invoice record inside of our system. The finance team would then be responsible for preparing the invoice, then sending it to the client, and then they would leave it from sent to 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and the status would change automatically until the status is then paid. The invoice is then paid, and we can track how much it's for, the project manager responsible for the project that relates to this invoice, the change order if it relates to a change order as well, like I said, the invoice amount and the time to pay, and then we can get an average of all of this information. But the important thing to note here is we can report on this information, so you can quickly go to the billing dashboard as a business owner and be able to see everything that's going on across your billing in one dashboard, one centralized location where all of the data is pulling through. So in this video, I'm just going to walk you through this setup, everything that we've got tracked so far. Additional reports can be created, and if you are a commercial GC doing between $10 to $50 million a year in revenue, check out the link below, book a call, we can discuss how we can implement stuff like this for your business. So you can see at the top we've got new invoices not sent. So this is the number of invoices that have been requested for the finance department but have not actually been sent yet, and we can see that there's a value of 1, so 1 invoice, and the value total of those invoices is 250,000. So you can see here on our billing process, there's 1 invoice due to be sent out of $250,000. We've then got an invoice sent, not paid. So this is all of the invoices that have been sent to the client but not paid. Again, we just have 1, and we can see the invoices sent, not paid value of $400,000. We then have an average time to pay, which at the moment is 0 days. So this is a really helpful metric because it gives us an average and essentially allows us to predict cash flow. If I then go to our billing process and change the status of this particular invoice, and I would imagine there are many, many, many invoices throughout this whole process, so the data would become far more accurate. But then I can see the average time to pay is 18 days. So if I know, let's say the average time to pay is 18 days, once I send the invoice or once the invoice is generated, I know it's going to take on average across all of our invoices 18 days for that cash to come back in. I can then use that for forecasting purposes to manage our expenditure, how we pay suppliers, how we pay for materials, how we pay for labor, whatever the case may be. We then also have a 90 days overdue amount. Now, this is quite a critical piece of information. If an invoice gets to the stage where it's 90 plus days overdue, it will then sit in this particular area here. It's going to say 90 days overdue amount. Obviously, you as an owner of the business want to keep or an operator want to keep tabs on this to see, we need to get that down if this gets too high, but you can quickly assess this on a daily basis just to see exactly what's going on. We then have average time to pay by project. So this is the average amount of time an invoice takes to get paid on a project basis. So if I go to my billing process and I'm just going to change this status back to paid again, this will then show average time to pay by project. We can see that project 2 average time to pay is 18 days. If I then go to this particular project or this particular invoice, this relates to project number 1, this relates to project number 2, change the status as well. We've then got an average time to pay for project 1 of 22 days and an average time to pay for project 2 of 18 days. Again, this will help us manage our cash flow on a project basis as well. So if you find that there's a project that's particularly slow to pay, you can manage cash flow accordingly, but also start finding out why they're taking so long to pay. So that's quite a useful piece of information to have available to you. We then have cash flow. Now, cash flow is determined by the due date. So if I change the status to sent and I'll change the status to 30 days overdue here, the idea being that the cash flow is determined by the due date. The due date is automatically set 30 days after the status of the invoice is changed from new to sent. So 24th of September plus 30 days, 24th of October. I can then go to my billing dashboard and I can see our expected cash flow. Now we've broken it down by status, so we can see that this is 30 days overdue now. That should be in the bank. You can then go ahead and adjust the due date manually if you wanted to, but that's quite a useful data point to have available to you, so you can see the expected cash flow month by month based on the invoices that you've sent out. We've then also got outstanding invoices by project manager. So if you have multiple project managers and they're responsible for managing multiple projects, you can see maybe there's a project manager that's not so good at, making sure that invoices get paid, or there are issues with the project because of the project manager or for whatever reason. And let's say Alex, for example, has a significantly higher outstanding balance across all of his projects over myself, or the other way around. Or if someone has no outstanding invoices associated with any of their projects, that might be cause for concern as well. But being able to see which project manager across all of their projects is owed the most amount of money or is responsible for generating or has an largest outstanding balance is very helpful, because if they're not doing a good job of project managing generally, then project clients are going to be reluctant to pay, which will slow down or increase the amount that is due to be paid as well. And this report works nicely in conjunction with the average time to pay by project manager. So we can see here we've got Alex might have a higher balance, but on average across all of his projects, it takes 18 days to get paid. And for myself, it's 23 days. So again, if you see anomalies in this data, it's very, very helpful to be able to then track. We've got the value and then the average time to pay. So you can then forecast cash based on your project manager who's responsible for managing that project. Again, not necessarily for all, it's not on a project by project basis, that's what's below here, but actually just seeing all of the projects that particular project manager is responsible for. So again, very, very helpful. And then the final two are quite similar. As opposed to project manager, it's just project. So outstanding invoices by project, we can see that there's $250,000 outstanding for project number 1, and that's actually 30 days overdue. And we've got $400,000 of outstanding invoices for project number 2, but it's just been sent. And then when the status ticks over, it will show here as well. And then we've got invoice value by status. So you can see here the invoice value across all of your projects, across all of your project managers. We've got $250,000 worth of invoices in 30 days overdue, $400,000 worth of invoices that have just been sent. And obviously, if I were to then go to the billing process and change that, say this one to 90 days overdue, that would then update, as you can see here, to show 90 days overdue. So that's obviously a big red flag. So it will show you all of the statuses where there are invoice values in there. Now, obviously, this can be taken to the nth degree. There are ultimately going to be more data points that you as a business want to track as well, which can be very easily done on here. So if you are a commercial GC doing between 10 to $50 million a year in revenue, and you would like a dashboard like this, or a change orders dashboard, or an RFIs dashboard, or a combination, an executive dashboard of all of those different data points, check out the link in the description below. Book a call with me and we can discuss how we could potentially help set up something like this. But hopefully this has given you an idea as to what's possible when reporting on billing within your business. Just make cash flow a bit better, billing a bit better. This gives finance a process to manage everything as well. But yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. Hopefully it's been helpful, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.